Hey everyone, Crazy's in the building. What's up, everybody? Let me get to chat. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Let me get in my chat. Hold on, I don't have my chat open. There we go. There's the chat. How you guys doing today? Hey Valerie, what's up? Hey Amber, Amanda, how are you doing today? How are you doing? Hey Infamous. Let's just highlight that comment, shall we? Thank you so much, Infamous. I appreciate it. You are my day one, and I truly appreciate it. Hey, Mark. Hi, Sweet Pea. Hey, Ma. How are you doing? Hey, Kimberly. Hi, Margie. How are you tonight, girl? Hey, Delana. Delana, you never sent me a voice note to say, tell me how I say your name. Say my name. Say my name. Hey, Megs. Haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? Hey, Lisa. Lizabelle. Love. Art. Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. Right back to you. Hi, Sandra. Oh, Sandra says she's negative, so that's a positive. That's good. But her baby girl is positive. So still sending prayers. How's she doing though? How's she doing? Oh, Ma, you didn't have to send me a super sticker. Thank you. Sweet Pea, I call her my Ma because oh, let's hear that again while I'm waiting for people. I call her my ma because she makes sure I eat. Last time I was live, and who remembers when I felt like fainting while I was live? Thank you. Sandra, you didn't have to do that. Thank you, Sandra. And it's your daughter's daughter, right? I want to make sure I got that all correct. Who knows this song? Where's this song from? Anybody know? Come on, you guys. All right, I'm just waiting for some people to get up in the chat before we get this party started. I kind of started a little bit early too. And I'm going to do a shout out. Give me a second while I load something up. Infamous says, Cece rocks. I have my moments. I have my moments. Hey, Tomas, what's up? He says, hello, everybody. Hold on, guys. I want to do, you can't hear it? What? Let's start again. Can you hear it now? Meg's a new member. Welcome, Megs. Welcome, Megs. Good to have you as a crazy member. Can you guys hear it now? I've been playing and you guys can't hear it. All right, hold on. I'm going to give a shout out. Hold on. I'm loading something up. And memberships. Look at Amanda. Yeah, look at my mods. You guys are too much. Thank you, Amanda as Vida La Loca. How are you feeling today, love? Thank you, Amanda, for that. Thank you guys for the super chat. Can you guys hear the song now? What is this intro from? Oh, I just told you guys the intro. It was my intro. Hold on. How do I get to my own? I don't even know how to get to something. Hold on. All right, guys. Let's see. I was trying to see if I can tell. I guess not. I was trying to see if I can tell. Never mind. Hey, Tammy Barnes, how are you? She says, hey. Hey, by the way, at Crazy Crime Chick, Purple Hearts. Thank you. Purple Hearts, back to you. All All right, enough of the music. Enough of the music. Let me share my screen with you guys really quick. All right, let's thank you, Amanda, again. Thank you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate. And then Megs is a member, so give her a crazy welcome. Hello, everybody. This is an evening live. It's a different vibe, I feel like, around this time. So if I'm a little giddy, you know why. And no, I'm not drinking or anything. I actually got my big old water jug. This actually has apple cider vinegar, and I put 2 tablespoons. I do not recommend. Yikes, it's kind of harsh. But we're going to be talking, obviously, about Lauren Smith Fields. Let me know in the chat if you guys know this case. I've been talking about it. I think I've done about 2 videos now. So put a 1 if you know this case, a 2 if you don't know this case, and a 3 if you somewhat know the case. And my screen should be loading right now. We're dealing with StreamYard, so why is it taking too long to load on your end? Hold on, guys. Hold on, hold your horses. What is taking, there you go, finally. I'm like, what's taking so long? And I'm gonna put my hair up because it needs a haircut. Valerie says, I actually like, do you really, Valerie? Do you know you could put it in your salad, I think, for a dressing? Do you do that? I can't do that. I usually, hey, Apple. Hi, Apple. I love your name because, you know, I love apples, you guys. And I don't care how my hair looks. Let me see. Okay, so Amanda says she's seen it on TikTok. I see some 1s on here. 1, 2, some 2s and 3. Amanda says, oh, that's gross. It's really good for you, though. It is. Try to drink at least a tablespoon in the morning and a tablespoon at night. It's supposed to help you out, clean you out, and all that. Meg says she met someone on a dating app. Yes, you are correct. You are correct, Megs. Yvette, you do too. She says, I like the taste of vinegar. I used to drink the egg dye when we dyed our, oh, no, you did not. Did you really? You love it up on fish? Tell me you mix it with something, Apple. Yeah, you guys are crazy because I'm only taking it to clean out my system, but I can't cook with it or put it on salads or anything like that. You rock a lot. All right, guys, so let me get serious. And am I freezing up? So how this live's going to run today is going to be, I'm going to take my bracelets off so I'm not making all that noise. So how this is going to work today. So I did a pre-recorded video for you guys because since my mods are still learning this and a lot of you are still learning this case, I want to be in chat so I can answer any of the questions that you guys may have. So I pre-recorded an update for you guys. I think it's about 15 minutes. I am probably going to stop it here and there because I'm probably going to have more to say about certain things, but I pre-recorded it. I think I did it last night. I pre-recorded it last night and it's going to be updates. We're going to have a discussion on that. And I do go into more of the case for anybody that doesn't really know it. And then after that, we're going to watch an interview that Lauren's family, they have a lawyer, and his name is Darnell Crossland, Mr. Crossland, their attorney. He did an interview, and it's what he says in the interview about Matthew that I was like, whoa. So we're learning more information about Matthew, and I feel like in a couple of days we're going to learn a lot more. Just going to say that. And you guys are going to understand when I play the interview. But that's pretty much how it's going to play out today, just so you guys know. And then we're just going to have a good discussion. I went live on Monday, and I couldn't have a real live. I couldn't have like a good in-depth conversation with you guys because it was off the cuff, and I just came on here really quick because we got the cause and manner of death, and I just had to come on here and tell you guys. But now we're going to be able to have a good discussion. So she was beautiful. She was extremely beautiful. And a little bit about Lauren before I play the video for you guys is, I'm going to move some stuff around. Give me a second, guys. is Lauren was 23 years old. Her birthday was actually January 24th. So her birthday just passed. She would have been 24 years old. Did I say she was 24? She was 23. I'm sorry. She would have been 24. And I believe I read that she was actually going to travel somewhere with her grandmother. She was planning on doing something like that with her grandma, I believe, for her birthday. But Lauren had her whole life ahead of her. She loved to travel. I was looking at her Facebook, her check-ins. She has check-ins from Jamaica, New York, Philadelphia. So at such a young age, she's already traveled. She also was an Instagram influencer. She has a big following on there. And she posted a lot also on her Facebook. And she also had a YouTube channel. And I will link her YouTube, or maybe one of my mods can link her channel if you guys want to go check it out. She only has about 3 videos up there. I think it's 3 or 4, but she did wig tutorials. And honestly, I used to watch wig tutorials all the time, and she did a really good job with editing and just recording and all of that. So she did that, and unfortunately, something happened to her on December 12th is when she was discovered. Now, even all of that, she did go to college. She was majoring in physical therapy, and I also read that she was doing cosmetology. Not sure if she was adding that on top of going to school for that, but I also heard that she was doing cosmetology, so I did want to put that out. Now, let me see. Anything else I want to say about Lauren? She pretty much had her whole life ahead of her, though, you guys. So, hey, Ember. Hey, Demon. How are you? Yeah, she was only 23. And when you look at her Facebook, because it's public, you guys, if you have a Facebook, you can go check it out, or maybe I can take you guys there and let you guys look at things. But she traveled a lot. She recorded a lot of her life. She was, just living her life. She went to college. She, was on her social media. And it just always amazes me when these young kids travel so much. And I call them kids because I still see them as youngsters. I do. I'm sorry. If someone's 21, I still think you're a baby. I don't know. That's just me, though. And just like with Gabby, Gabby traveling and doing all that, I'm just like, wow, that's freaking awesome. I think that's amazing when you're young and you're able to travel like that. So she was living her life to the fullest. And unfortunately, something happened to her on December 11th. Now, I'm not going to go too much in the major details of it all because in the video it does. But on December 11th, she would have a man over her house. We now know his name is Matthew Lafountain. He is 37 years old. And the story is pretty much that they started drinking tequila. They met on a dating app called Bumble, and they actually only knew each other for 3 days. And that was the first time he was at her apartment. She had an apartment. Now, the story really quick is that they were there. They were drinking tequila, taking shots, and playing games and watching movies, and they ate some food. Now, Lauren got sick almost immediately, I think, afterwards, and she went in the restroom and she started vomiting. Her brother came over. She talked to her brother really quick. The brother said he didn't even notice anything wrong with Lauren. She seemed perfectly fine, didn't look tired, didn't look sick, none of that. She seemed fine. And when she went back in, she went in the restroom and was in there, I think, about 10 to 15 minutes. And again, she was sick again. Now, this man, Matthew, said he never questioned her being sick because he said, 1, he didn't know her that well, and 2, he didn't think it was his place. Okay. Another thing he said, and this is coming from the incident report, another thing he stated was that she fell asleep on her sofa, and he decided to pick her up from being asleep on her sofa, and he took her to her bedroom and laid her on the bed, where he said they had no intercourse, and he fell asleep with her. He does say that he woke up at 3 a.m. to use the restroom and she was snoring. He also said that he woke up again at 6:30, and this is when he seen blood coming out of her nostril and she was unresponsive. He called 911. Now, we don't know what happened to Lauren. The cause of death and the matter came out. The cause of death is acute, was intoxication, and it was due to having fentanyl. What was it? Fentanyl, promethazine, and hydroxyzine or something like that. I say it wrong every time. I do apologize. And then the manner of death would be accident. Now, Lauren's family, they do have a lawyer. Like I mentioned, his name is Mr. Crossland. And by far, her family is her voice. They are going on every news station, on anywhere they can get, go on any platform to spread awareness is what they are doing. They are fighting for her. They hired out of pocket a second autopsy, and I believe they now have a private investigator. So they're definitely, they don't trust Bridgeport police, and I don't blame them, but I'm going to play the video that goes more into all of that. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Hey, Kim, how are you? Yenny, how are you? And hello, anybody. Amanda says, I'm convinced fentanyl is in everything. And Insanely Confused and Delana did open a Facebook group for this case. So if you guys want to join that, please, one of them will share the link. Please do. I did see that there's about 150 members now, and I'm also starting to see other Facebook groups being made for Lauren, which is amazing because I started following Lauren's case a month after. I think it was a little bit over a month actually, and there was no groups, and I was so shocked on that, especially because if you look at Lauren, she had such a big social media presence, and usually when someone passes away or someone goes missing and they have a open social media, meaning it's not private, a lot of people like us, we gravitate to it because then we go on their social media, we look at all their videos, we look at their posts, and then we feel like we end up knowing them. So Lauren had a YouTube channel. She was an Instagram influencer. She was active on her Facebook, and there was just no coverage. So I do want to thank Delana and Insanely Confused for really taking the initiative and doing that, because we are getting a lot of people in that group. This case is growing. I am going to ask you while I share my screen to play the video that I made for the update for you guys. If you guys can just take one little second and like this video or dislike, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I promise it doesn't, but it does help the video get out. YouTube pushes it out in the algorithm. And Lauren's case, I just want to spread awareness with it because I 100% believe that there is more to the story. I'm not believing what is being told to us, and I definitely want justice for Lauren and for her family. For me, it's not about race. This is about a young woman and something happened to her, and I feel like Bridgeport they dropped the ball on it. They definitely did. So we need justice for her. So please do that really quick for me. Please, please, please. And I'm going to share my screen with something else. So give me a minute. All right, hold on, guys. Oh, hold on. I have Sanja. I have Sanja and Sanda. You guys, I can't keep up. I have two of you guys. I have two of you guys in here. I can't keep up. I'm just noticing that. Hold on, guys. All right, so talk amongst yourself. I'm going to stop sharing this in a minute. Let me just get my screens ready for you guys. And 1 second. And I wasn't looking at chat, you guys. They probably assumed it was another druggy overdose. And you guys are, I agree, Amber. And one thing you guys are going to hear in this interview too is that right away, the detective told the family, the brother, that, she's seen the guy. He spoke with the guy. I do want to point out he isn't a person of interest, and I'm going to be saying this throughout this live, you guys. I'll be saying two things throughout this live. One is going to be if you guys could hit the like button or dislike button. And again, that's just because I really want to spread awareness when it comes to Lauren's case. And then two, Matthew, the person who was last with Lauren, he isn't a person of interest and not a suspect. I'm going to be saying those two things throughout this whole live, just so you guys know. Now, the brother, Lauren's brother, Lakeem, he said that the detective told him that when the family found out about Matthew, about this man being at her apartment, understandably, the family had so many questions. And the detective told the family pretty much that they spoke with him and he seemed like a nice guy. He was never brought in for questioning, a formal questioning. When I say that, I mean he was never interrogated. His interview was never recorded. There was no written statement. And you guys, that should never happen. I don't understand why he was never brought in for anything formal. Blows my mind. He does have a lawyer now. I don't know who the lawyer is. I've been trying to see if I can find out who the lawyer is. He hasn't made a statement on his client's behalf quite yet. So I am interested to see if he does. Now, I also want to say I don't think getting a lawyer is exactly screaming guilt, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of smart to get a lawyer. If you ever find yourself in a situation, I would recommend getting a lawyer too, because especially since you may not know the law or your rights, so definitely lawyer up, but you can still corroborate with law enforcement. It's when you stop corroborating that I think that screams guilt, but we shall wait and see. We'll see how that plays out because we haven't heard anything yet from this lawyer. I'm like, who's his lawyer? But we don't know. Not quite yet. Unless somebody's found out, and you can comment that. Let me see what you guys are saying really quick while I'm loading. This happened this year, Yvette. This just happened. So Lauren, she met this man. She had him at her apartment on December 11th. So last year, sorry, this year. I forget. We're in 2022. So 21. So December 12th, 2021 is when this happened. Yeah, she passed away. And when they arrived, law enforcement and the medic arrived on scene, they pronounced her deceased. Yeah. Okay, hold on really fast while I get a video for you guys. So it's about 16 minutes, this video, and I pre-recorded it. Again, it's going to go into more of the case and the newest updates. So just give me 1 minute. All right, give me a second. All right. Look at this picture right here. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this. So let's stop sharing this really quick. Let me take that off the screen and don't mind my ponytail right now. Okay, thank you, Amber, for that. Appreciate that. All right, let me share my screen. Let's do Chrome. Okay, so look at my face right here, you guys. Look at this face. It's gonna load right now, guys. Gosh, it's taking forever to load though. Maligator. And it's loading. I'm just waiting for it to load. I'm just moving things around. And this is another reason why look at this face. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, I don't know what to tell you. Can we just appreciate this face right here? Sorry, which background, Amanda? The one I'm using right now. Demon, you appreciate that face right there. All right, this case, Who Am I? Says, this case is so sad to me. I agree. Yanni, I completely agree. Says, I can't believe the ordeal her family is going through. And insanely, you're so funny. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to play this. So let's make this bigger because I'm going to be in chat. So for the most part, I am going to be in chat, you guys. And I'm going to be answering questions you may have. And then I will stop it here and there just because I know I'm going to want to say some things. So any questions? I'll be in chat. Let's push play. Make sure the volume's up. Hold on. If you can't laugh at yourself, I really don't know what to tell you guys. All right, let's do this. Oh my gosh, look at me.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. I'm gonna start with the most recent update when it
the case of Lauren
comes
Smith
to the case of Lauren
Fields.
Smith Fields. And that's going to be, let me scroll down. I'm going to just post it here, the article that I'm going to be reading. It's going to be coming from News 8. But the most recent update is definitely going to be at the Bridgeport Police Department. The Narcotics and Vice Division has opened a criminal investigation into the death of Lauren Smith. Now, I was so happy when I heard this. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the article right now. Now, it starts off by saying the Bridgeport Police Department, Narcotics and Vice Division, has opened a criminal investigation into the death of TikTok influencer Lauren Smith Fields, following the medical examiner's report. Now, it goes on to say that on December 12th, 2021, police received a call for an untimely death. When officers arrived, they found all right, I don't know why it did that. It totally kicked me off. It only did that to me one other time, and I think I was talking the Chris Watts case, and no, two times. I think I was talking the Chris Watts case. Hold on, let me share my screen. And I think I was talking Gabby Petito. You guys can't stop us from spreading awareness. Sorry, keep trying. Let's do this again. Hold on, guys. Let me start from the beginning. Demon, you remember those days when all that used to go down? You remember. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, try this again. Sorry, I just laugh at myself. Okay, hold on. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to start with the most recent update when it comes to the case of Lauren Smith Fields. And that's going to be, let me scroll down. I'm going to just post it here, the article that I'm going to be reading. It's going to be coming from News 8. But the most recent update is definitely going to be that the Bridgeport Police Department, the Narcotics and Vice Division, has opened a criminal investigation into the death of Lauren Smith. Now, I was so happy when I heard this, so I'm just going to go ahead and read the article right now. Now, it starts off by saying the Bridgeport Police Department, Narcotics and Vice Division, has opened a criminal investigation into the death of TikTok influencer Lauren Smith Fields, following the medical examiner's report. Now, it goes on to say that on December 12th, 2021, police received a call for an untimely death. When officers arrived, they found Lauren had died unexpectedly. As protocol, according to the police, the detective bureau took charge of the untimely investigation. Now, Lauren's family, they have demanded answers from officials, and they actually held a rally on Sunday.
What would you and your family want different in your daughter's death investigation?
Moving forward, I want them to give us answers and don't discard us like we're rubbish. And moving forward, I want Detective Cronin to be fired. I mean, this whole police force from the top to the bottom needs to be revamped.
Now, according to this incident report obtained by this news station, it says that a man that Lauren met on a dating app, which we know is Bumble, and the man's name is Matthew Lafountain. He is 37 years old from Milford, Connecticut. Now, it says that this man said that he woke up in the morning next to Lauren to find that blood was coming out of her right nostril, and she was not breathing. The responding officer described when he arrived, the man appeared frantic and was trembling and visibly shaken, it says. The document states the man told them he had only known Lauren for 3 days, and that was his first day ever going to her apartment. It goes on to say that, and while he was at her apartment, she got sick while they were drinking the night before. He also told them at one point Lauren was in the bathroom for 10 to 15 minutes, but eventually came out and fell asleep. Now, we learned on Monday the medical examiner released the cause and manner of death. So it says that the cause of death would be acute intoxication due to combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, totally probably chopping it up, and alcohol. And the manner of death would be accidental. So, as far as these drugs that were found in Lauren, one being promethazine, and you might hear people refer to that as lean or purple, and you can mix that. People mix that with their 7-Up or Sprite or some kind of soda, and they just sip on it. I had to reach out to one of my friends about this, honestly, to ask about this. And he says, yeah, you can sip on it and it just makes you feel all woozy. And I don't know, but that's what people do. It also, I was looking it up. Now, it comes in oral syrup or an oral tablet. And signs of possible overdose with discouragement, dizziness, faint, dry mouth, feeling warmth. It says what else? Lack of appetite, loss of interest, muscle tension, redness of the face, neck, and arms, and possibly the upper chest, trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, unconsciousness, unstable, trembling, or other problems with muscle control or coordination, unusual paleness also. As for hydroxyzine, again, probably not saying that correct, it says that you can take it oral or in a syrup form. Also, it says that it has to be prescribed. All of these, the other one I just talked about also has to be prescribed too. And it's to treat, it says, anxiety. It is also known to treat difficulty for sleeping, nausea, vomiting, itching, skin rash, and allergies. Now, signs of an overdose with this one are almost the same as the other one, but it also includes convulsions, nausea, and vomiting. Now, as for fentanyl, it does go on to say that as a result of the report, which that face. So really quick, I've seen someone ask about hydroxyzine. What is that for? So it can treat anxiety, nausea, vomiting, allergy, skin rash, hives, and itching. Just so in case anyone didn't catch that when I explained it in the video, it says it has to be prescribed by a doctor. It does say. Which is the medical examiner's report, which I do just want to point out, where is this actual report at? Why isn't there a news press from this medical examiner? I went to Bridgeport PD on their Facebook, on their Twitter, and there's nothing. Now, I'm not talking about the full lengthy report. I understand we're not going to get that right now, but why isn't there a news press from the medical examiner, and why isn't that being shared on Bridgeport PD's Facebook or Twitter? In fact, if you go on there, they haven't reported anything about Lauren's case, which I think is ridiculous. But like I said, as a result of the So I just want to emphasize that once again. This is the first case since I started the channel, you guys, and maybe you guys can't, I don't know, maybe it's different for you, but I usually, when I'm following a case, I will go to their Facebook, whatever law enforcement it is. Example, for this one, it would be Bridgeport PD. I go to their Facebook, I start following them. I go to their Twitter and I start following them because that's when they give a lot, that's where they're going to give you their news press, their information. They put a lot of updates on there for whatever case you may be following. This is the first case, and I'm sure it happens all the time, but for the cases that I followed so far, this has never happened before, and they don't have anything on there about Lauren whatsoever. And there is no news press from the medical examiner. I don't even know what the medical examiner name is, to be honest with you. And again, I just want to emphasize, I'm not talking the full autopsy report. I believe we're not going to get that. But usually they put out usually a news press on one of their social medias, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. And we didn't get that with this. So hopefully in a few days, maybe they might. But as of right now, nothing. report, the Bridgeport Police Narcotics and Vice Division opened a criminal investigation. Now, they will be assisted by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. According to the Bridgeport Police, fentanyl is a strong narcotic associated with the epidemic of opiate-related overdose deaths in the United States. So because fentanyl was found in Lauren's system, they are now doing an investigation on it, wondering where did she get this from? Did someone give her this? Did Matthew give her this? Again, he is not a person of interest or a suspect. I do just want to put that out. So because they found fentanyl in Lauren's system, that is why the Vice Narcotics, they actually opened an investigation because of that. So I am happy they opened up an investigation because since the cause and manner, the manner is accident, law enforcement isn't going to do any further looking into it because it's an accident. So now that they found fentanyl, I am so happy that an investigation is going to be looked into now. And again, they do have Lauren's phone. I'm not, of course, nothing's being done to Matthew right now as far as his gadgets or anything like that, of course, because he's not a person of interest or suspect, but they do have Lauren's phone. So I do want to see if they can get anything on her phone that will corroborate that, nope, she didn't talk to anybody who had this drug, or maybe she did. We don't know. Her family does state that, nope, Lauren never did drugs. I just want to say, and for the sake of an argument, I mean, a lot of parents say that we don't, some parents don't really know what's going on, but they're saying, no, she never did. Bridgeport Police Chief Rebecca Garcia made a statement, and it says, the Bridgeport Police Department continues to treat the untimely death of Lauren Smith Fields as an active investigation, as we are now refocusing our attention and efforts to the factors that lead to her untimely death. We have engaged several partners to assist with the portion of the investigation. Once again, we offer our sincerest condolences to the friends and family of Lauren Smith Fields and ask that anyone with information to please contact 203-576-TIPS. Also, anyone with information on this case is asked to contact the police at 203-449-2195. Now, when we learned of Lauren's cause and manner of death, I immediately wanted to know what the family was going to say about this. And the family released a statement through their lawyer, whose name is Darnell Crossland. And this was on Monday night. He said that the family believes that this was foul play. And someone introduced those drugs to her system, and it wasn't her, they said. We want answers.
He didn't use drugs. Why is it showing drugs? Where did it come from? What was the origin of this? All we know is that 23-year-old girl goes to the gym every single day, doesn't use drugs.
So fentanyl is the top drug, and then they have a couple other drugs they found in her system that are typically associated with date rape drugs. And so we want to know the source of that stuff.
Now, one of the biggest questions that everybody has, sorry, I keep stopping it at the wrong time. Look at my face. But I do want to also point out that after Lauren was found, and I think it was 2 days later, I'm not sure it was actually more days than that afterwards, the family went to her apartment, and in the apartment, they found a used condom in the trash can in the bathroom. And they found a package. It's like a one-time package of lubricant. And also they found blood in the middle of the sheet on her bed. And also they found, making sure I'm not mute when I'm going over all of this. Yeah. So they found the lube, they found the condom in the restroom, and they also found one pill. I haven't been able to see what that pill is, but they did find one pill. And law enforcement didn't take any of that stuff. They didn't take, I don't even think they seen the condom, actually. I just can't believe they didn't take the bloody sheet. I'm blown away that they would leave something like that there. I know I have is, who is this man, Matthew Lafountain? Who is this man that was with Lauren? Now, have been tirelessly looking up anything I can when it comes to this person. Again, he is the person that was last with Lauren. He is not a suspect. I do want to say he is not a person of interest, but he is the person that was last with her. Now, I found this article, and I do want to say I did cross-reference everything it says on this article just to make sure it was the same information that I gathered. And yes, it is. And I'll also share some of the screenshots I have if you guys want. I'll just put them up here, or during the live, just tell me to show you guys the screenshots that I have and I'll do it. Now, this article, which caught my attention, is because it says Matthew Lafountain, 10 things about Milford, Connecticut man. And I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Now it says Matthew Lafountain is a white man from Connecticut, United States. Here are 10 more things about him. Number uno, he lives in Milford, Connecticut. I think we all know. Sorry, I need to stop it because Amber says something that I actually, when I was just saying all of this, it just clicked in my brain too. And you're right. She says the lubricant is sketchy because lube is usually used when needed. Was she not awake? So lube was needed? Sorry to be graphic. No, thank you for that comment because you're 100%. Now, the story is, if you guys remember, what Matthew is alleging, of course, we don't have Lauren to say anything, but Matthew is saying that Lauren was sick throughout their visit, that he was there, and she ended up passing out on her couch. Remember, he says they didn't do anything either. He says they did not have intercourse. He says he moved her after she fell asleep on her couch to her bed, and he fell asleep. He says he didn't do anything, and in the incident report, it does state that when the officers arrived there, that he was clothed. Like that means anything to me, but they did say that. So you do raise some good questions, Amber, with that question right there you put. So, but no, he says she was asleep and they didn't do anything. Number two, aside from Milford, he lived in other parts of Connecticut, including Monroe. Number three, he works as a design engineer for Times Microwave System in Walford, Connecticut. They only have a couple of locations around the United States. They actually have one out here in Arizona in Mesa, but he obviously works for the one in Wallingford. Did I say that correct the first time? I don't know. But what they do is they manufacture cables for the military, aerospace, and telecommunication companies. So sounds pretty, has like a nice little title right there, I think. Again, he is a design engineer. Number four, from 2007 to 2019, he worked for Hubbell Electric Heater in Stratford, Connecticut as a lead production coordinator. On December 8th, 2021, this obviously it says, we know this, but it says number five, on December 8th, 2021, he allegedly met Lauren Smith Fields on a dating app, Bumble. Again, remember, they had only known each other 3 days, he says. Now, she allegedly asked him for $40 to get her nails done and to meet her at her apartment in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I do want to point out, and maybe you guys can comment in right now, I have been hearing from different stations that they actually met at a bar prior to going to Lauren's apartment, and they were actually drinking at a bar first. I don't know if that is true or not, but it is something I'm hearing now surface around. And with any case, when it hasn't been solved, I mean, even when it's solved, solved wise from like it being closed from law enforcement. But as sleuthers, we keep going if something doesn't make sense or add up. But with a lot of the cases, as time goes by and more information is being let out, we learn more stuff. So I'm wondering if this is something like that we're just now learning. But again, not sure if that is true. So please do not quote me on that. Now, it says that on the evening of December 11th, 2021, Matthew allegedly he did visit her, but this article says allegedly for everything. So I'm going to X that out. Visit Lauren at her Bridgeport apartment. it was the first time they actually met in person, which I just have so many more questions because of that. Why did you carry her to her room? Why did you spend the night there? It's just so many things. She's not, okay. I'm going to continue reading. This is why I like pre-recording, because I'm probably going to X all of this part out. Now, it says that they were drinking tequila. Remember, they were watching movies. They ate food, played games. Now, it says that he is 37 years old. When he met Lauren on December 11th, he is 14 years older than Lauren. Now, for number 9, I totally skipped all my numbers, but we're at 9. It says at around 6:30 a.m. on December 12th, 2021, he called 911 while he was in Lauren's apartment and reported that he noticed that her nose was bleeding and she was not breathing. Now, police department officers responded to the apartment. We already know all of this stuff, yada, yada, yada. He is the last person to see Lauren alive. That's why we all have questions. Now it says number 10. Wow. He seems like a nice guy, it says right here. So the Bridgeport Police Department did not bring him into questioning after finding Lauren Smith Fields deceased on December 12th, 2021. I'm not making this up. This is literally what it says in the article, okay? Now it says the department allegedly told her brother, Lakeem Jeter. So this article is saying that, Lakeem is stating that law enforcement told him, and we've heard this before from the brother. He said this multiple times, that law enforcement said he seems like a nice guy. Hold on, I want to answer a question I see right here really quick. JR, what's up? He says, why didn't they just use the lie detector? JR, they never brought him into the station. So they talked to him at her apartment and they took his statement there, but they never took him in for a formal statement. So they never brought him in. They never recorded it. There is no written formal statement from him. There's none of that. And like I just said in this pre-recorded video, when the family asked about, Matthew and, his connection and all of this stuff, they said they spoke with him and that he seemed like a nice guy. So I think based off of what they just immediately assumed looking at the scene and Matthew, they just, I don't know, they never took him in. And so none of that was done. And I agree. Why not use a lie detector on him? I agree. I know they're not admissible in court and, everyone has their thoughts on them, but law enforcement does use them for a tactic. And I wish he would have taken one, to be honest with you, because I do not believe his story is matching up whatsoever. But he was never brought in for questioning or even to give a formal statement. So they never brought him in to the station for questioning or a formal statement, which blows my mind, you guys. Now, some other things that I did find that I don't see listed here from court documents. And again, you guys, all of this is public information. Just want to say, but it looks like he went dissolution of marriage. Yeah. And this was back in 2012. It started, ended in 2013. But it looks like the wife filed for divorce, it looks like. And I'm not sure if he has children, only because it does talk about a custody hearing on here in order for it. And it also does say certificate to court of parenting education program results by family DIVCGS. I don't know. I have to look up all of that. I don't know. But it does say that. But I'll go ahead and show you guys this and we'll just talk about it during the actual live of this all. But yeah, so I seen that. So it looks like he might possibly have kids. I'm not too sure. And he was once married. I'm just cracking up at the times I stop it. So I was going to share the screenshot of what I'm describing right here with the court documents, but it has his ex-wife's name on there, and I just don't feel comfortable right now putting her name out there since she hasn't gone public at all. Usually I don't mind if I see them in the groups or I see them making posts or going on the news stations or something, but I just don't feel comfortable putting it there. But I will show you guys how to get to the website. And all you do is you type in his, and you go to civil and you type up his name, and it will pop up. It'll give you the number, and then it'll give you all the information. I think I sent it to Delana too. But on here, I decided before I went live, I was like, yeah, I just don't feel comfortable putting her name out there. I mean, I don't think she has anything to do with anything. So, I'm going to just respect her privacy. So hopefully you guys don't get upset with that, but I'll show you where to go and all that. So far, I'm trying to think if I've gathered anything else with him. No. I know a lot of people are wondering, who is his family? Does he have access to any of this medication? Because it does seem like Lauren was not, based off what the family is saying, it seems like Lauren didn't have this medication herself, and wondering, where did it come from? Especially fentanyl. Where did that come from? And does Matthew have access to this? Does he have family members who have access to this? Also, another thing I want to point out that I did hear was that the lawyer, Lauren's family, the lawyer that's helping them, he actually reached out to the dating app that Matthew and Lauren met on, and Bumble. And he said that he was told that law enforcement haven't even contacted them yet, which I don't understand why not.
They didn't quarantine the area. They didn't collect anything. They're asking the family to say to them, hey, anything else we should take? And then they didn't even call Bumble to say, hey, this guy said they met this woman on Bumble. When did they meet? How long have they been talking? What have they been talking about? That tells me they have an utter disregard for this investigation.
We're going through this over and over again, and we're grieving. We got to fight and grieve and be our own prosecutor, be our own investigator. It's crazy. This is nonsense when the police should just do their job.
And Amanda just said, just read he blocked her on Instagram after she died. Where did you read that at? Amanda, I do need your help with finding information out about him. He had 2 Facebooks and he deleted both of them. Also, there was a photo surfacing around. It's him and I believe his uncle or cousin, and there's an older man in the photo, and this person was his family member. While after that photo started surfacing around, this family member shut down their Facebook. I can't find it for the life of me. So they either made it private or closed it. So his family's also closing shit down. You read that on Facebook? And another thing that the family did say, I do want to point out, is that, if he had nothing to hide, which again, he isn't a person of interest or a suspect, but if he didn't do anything wrong, then why wouldn't he just have reached out to Lauren's family and been like, give his condolences? Hey, I was the last person. I was there. I was with Lauren. She wasn't feeling good. We were drinking. You know what? And another question is, was Lauren showing any signs of not feeling good? And what I mean by that, because the side effects when you take some of these medications that I let you guys know on here is that, there's, one of them is they start looking pale. They start, was she complaining of her stomach hurting, any pain, anything? I mean, how was she acting? Was she just going and vomiting? That doesn't sound normal to me. Usually, if you're not feeling good, especially if you are taking something like this, if something's given to you, you're going to be complaining of other things. And this is questions that if law enforcement, I believe if he would have been taken in, this could have been a question asked. Was Lauren complaining about anything? Did you see her taking anything? All these questions. But because he wasn't taken in, nobody knows right now. And again, he has a lawyer. So good luck with that. But he's never reached out to the family either. All right, I'm going to share something else, you guys. Let me see some of your comments before I move on. And he hasn't made any statements at all. I know, certain news stations have went to his house trying to, ask questions, haven't been able to get a hold of him. but he does have a lawyer. Don't know who the lawyer is quite as yet. I mean, as of yet. And also the lawyer hasn't made any formal statements yet on his client. So we shall see what happens with that. Now, that's a hey, Nicole, and everybody. I want to just personally thank Nicole Morgan. She is one of my members and she's a good friend. It is Nicole Morgan who brought this case to my attention. So I just want to thank you, Nicole, for sharing this, sharing that TikTok with me about Lauren, because it was that got me like, hey, there's definitely something not right here. There's a lot of questions I have. So thank you, Nicole, for bringing Lauren's case to my attention. She says, did it say how much hydroxyzine was in her system? That's a good question. I was also wondering that. Are they able to find out how much was in her system for all of it? Fentanyl, the promethazine. Is there a way for them to find out with the autopsy how much was actually in her system? Is there a way also to find out what time that was ingested, taken? Because I was thinking the hydroxyzine, that's prescribed for what? It said anxiety, right? So what if she was prescribed that and she took something in the morning, like willingly, you know? I mean, I don't know. Those are just questions that I have. I know her family states she didn't take anything, but then again, she's 23, living on her own. Maybe they didn't know. I'm not too sure, but that's a very good question. And I was also wondering about that. Insanely says yes. They did. They did all of that. And again, her family, the lawyer did request to get the autopsy report and the results, all of that. He does state that he did request that. I do want to point that out. But also keep in mind, you guys, the family paid out of pocket their own autopsy for Lauren. And those are the results that I want to know what comes about with that. So I'm going to keep you guys posted with that also. Yeah, because so far we're not getting anything. We don't have anything released to us. And I'm not sure in Connecticut, maybe you guys know, I should have looked this up before. Is it a state where they don't have to release the autopsy? Do you guys know? Because remember with Gabby's case, Gabby Petito, the medical examiner did state that in that state that he didn't have to give all he had to do was manner and cause, I believe, but he didn't have to give any other information. Do you guys remember that? I'm wondering if Connecticut is also like that. I'm not too sure. Let me scroll up really quick. I'm going to play now. I'm going to play a interview that the lawyer just did. And this interview would be after the family learned the autopsy results. Sorry, I got something in my eyeball. Nicole Morgan, how are you doing, baby? I'm so glad to see you. Lizabella says he looks like a creepy guy. Oh, just wait. The reason I put that in my title, you're going to hear right now why I put that in my title. There's a reason for it. Hold on, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Insanely says the only reason the family went there was because they were supposed to have Christmas there this year. Are you talking about her apartment to check on her? Well, I know too, the mom states that they weren't able to get a hold of her, right? So she went over there like any mom would do. You go check on your kid. You know, why aren't they answering their phone? She hasn't responded to anybody, so you go check on them. Or if you live in a different state, you call someone that lives by, or a friend or someone in the same apartment or something, management. But she went. And when she gets there, that's how she learns about Lauren passing away. Law enforcement never contacted them. I do want to point out. It was actually a note on the door that said, if you're here about Lauren, please contact this number. And it was actually, they contact the management, and that's how they learned Lauren passed away. I can't believe that's how they learned. I mean, I'm not saying that the girl had wings, but she had a YouTube channel and she was in the public eye and she didn't look like she was under the influence of a daily drug. I mean, and here's the thing. It isn't just one drug they found in her system. It's like a cocktail, right? You have 3 different things, one being fentanyl. You have promethazine and the other one, which I'm not going to say anymore. I keep chopping it up probably. But, and then alcohol. I'm just thinking, and again, we don't know Lauren. I don't know Lauren, so I'm just going based off what her family is saying. Also looking at her social media. Yes, Lauren did drink. Yes, she liked to have a good time. She was 23 years old. She still went to college. She traveled. She had a YouTube channel. She was an Instagram influencer. Like, she lived a really good life at 23, it seems like. Again, I know us looking at her life from the outside is different, but you guys know what I mean. But I was looking at all of that too, insanely confused. And I'm just like, but all of these things she just took, meeting a guy for the first time, it just, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem to fit. Again, I don't know her, but to just take those three items, those three different drugs, fentanyl too, and then be drinking, taking shots, and you just met the guy the first time? I don't know. And then again, remember, he claims that she contacted him for $40. I would love to know if law enforcement sees any of that. Did she actually reach out to him that day, or did he reach out to her? They do have her phone. Yeah, it is. It sounds like a cocktail. And I don't know. It's just a strong cocktail, a deadly cocktail. It doesn't make sense. All right, you guys, I'm going to share my screen. Let me pull it up. I'm going to pull up the interview that the lawyer did. Again, you guys, thank you guys for being here with me on these. I know when we cover new cases, I know people are like, oh my gosh, sometimes you guys just can't, your heart can't take another case. But Lauren's case, there's just something not right here. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. All right, give me a second. Let me pull it up. Insanely says she didn't take all those, in my opinion. Yeah, I was looking at all her, and I'm just like, again, I don't know her, but think about it. Like, put yourself in her shoes. Taking all of that, then drinking like that with a guy you just met. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know her. Okay, hold on, guys. Let's see. All right. Matthew says, without the alcohol, she probably still would be alive. Well, I want to know how much fentanyl was also, like all of that. Like Nicole asked, how much was the hydroxyzine found in her system? I want to know how much all of that was found in her system. And what time was all of that ingested is another thing I'm wondering. All right, let me go to it. Hold on, I need court TV. All right, here we go. All right, give me a second. It's loading. Okay, hold on. Is the volume high enough here? I think so. Okay, let me stop sharing this one, and then we'll share this one. Give me a second, guys. Look at my... Thank God you guys don't judge me on my looks. All right, let's share the screen. Delana says, it seems he used multiplicity effect with her by giving her these drugs with a cocktail. And here's the thing, too, that just sticks out is he claims that he didn't ask her anything about... hold on, it's going to crack a little bit because it's sharing the screen. Okay, so he says that he didn't ask her anything when she was feeling ill because it was in his place. But that alone, you guys, when I first heard of this case, hearing that Matthew said Lauren was feeling sick, she was vomiting in the bathroom, she was sick again throughout the day, she was in the bathroom for 10 to 15 minutes. That's a long time to be in the restroom. Again, you're dating, you just went on, like, you're hanging out for the first time and someone's that sick. And he says that he didn't say anything because, one, he didn't know her that well. And then again, he didn't think it was his place. I don't know, you guys. For me, when I first heard that in the very beginning, it always stuck out to me. It made no sense because anybody, regardless if you know them one day or 1 month, 1 year, if you're around someone that you're going on a date with and they're throwing up I don't care who you are, you're going to ask questions. You're going to ask, are you okay? Do you need to go to the doctor? Maybe we shouldn't be drinking no more. Should I come back a different day? You know what I mean? Those are the normal responses that usually everybody would say. Sitting back and be like, yeah, no, I don't know you that well, so I'm not going to ask if you're okay or anything like that. It just reminds me of, and this is me speculating, and I said this before, it does remind me of, did this guy, if he did slip something to Lauren, is it the reason, again, speculating, is the reason he didn't say anything is because he wanted to wait to some of this full effects would go in and then he can have sex with her? I don't know. Lauren isn't here to tell her side of the story. All right, let me see. Amanda says she's 6 months pregnant and she don't give a F. Let's see what Amber says. Amber says, I'd ask if they're okay, but I'd probably leave, like, especially if I met them on a dating app. I wouldn't stay and carry them or touch them. Yeah. Well, here's a good point, Amber. I mean, you're going to ask if they're okay. It doesn't matter if you met them only one day. I mean, how are you going to watch someone throwing up and not ask if they're okay? That just makes no sense whatsoever to me. And like Amber says, Lauren's asleep. She falls asleep. This is his story again. She falls asleep on her sofa, and then he carries her to her bed. Again, why move Lauren when she's obviously not feeling too well throughout the time you're with her? She falls asleep on her own sofa. Why move her? And then he says he fell asleep with her. Why you met her the first time? The first time you actually physically met her. Why wouldn't you go to sleep on maybe if the sofa is big enough, I don't know what it looks like, next to her, lay on the floor, go get her blanket from the room, cover her. It's just him physically putting her in the room. It doesn't seem right. And speaking of the lube, now that I'm just thinking, and this is just me speculating, okay, please don't take this as facts, but I'm just thinking, what if he did take something there? If she's not awake and cannot get aroused, then what if he used that? That would be, obviously he intended on doing this. My mind is just thinking out loud. It doesn't make sense, guys. It just really doesn't. And I just hope he makes a statement. I mean, we shall see. Okay, so this is going to be Court TV. We're going to do a reaction on it, and let me make it a little bigger. This was posted January 25th, so yesterday this was posted, and they're going to have, I forgot who they have on here, but I watched some of it. I haven't watched all of it, so I'm just going to go along with it with you guys, but I forget who they had on here, but he does bring up some good questions, some that I actually had too. And then you're going to hear from the family's attorney. Again, his name is Mr. Crossland, and he says something that just really blew my mind, and it's going to blow your guys' mind. I'm wondering, I don't know if I should even say this. I'm not going to say it, but I'm wondering if other women are going to come forward later on. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just wondering that. Okay, let me push play really quick, and I'll be in chat with this. Let me make the screen bigger. Oh no, I'll leave it like that because I don't want to get in trouble. When you do a reaction, it's good to have your own face on there. Okay.
I'm Vinny Napolitan. We begin this hour of closing arguments with breaking news in a story we were just covering last hour, the mysterious death of Lauren Smithfields in Connecticut. Here's her picture, 23 years old, died in her apartment. And she was with someone that she had met on the Bumble dating app. The family extremely frustrated and angry with investigators because they had not gotten an answer about what happened to their daughter, and were angry with investigators because of the way they handled it. The man that she was with was never interrogated. They never really tested his story. He has a lawyer now. And we hadn't heard from the medical examiner yet. But now, as soon as we finished doing that story last hour, we've got new information. And just coming from the office of the chief medical examiner in Connecticut. Okay? The immediate cause of death in the case of Lauren Smith Fields was acute intoxication due to the combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, and alcohol. Okay, let's go through that again. The combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, probably not saying that right, and alcohol. That was the immediate cause of death. The manner of death has been labeled an accident. All right. That's the information we got, but what does it mean? What questions still are there? Let's bring back in our special guest who rejoining us tonight, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, forensic media analyst, former senior investigator for the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office, Joseph Scott Morgan, back with us. All right, Joseph, I don't know if I pronounced everything correctly, but this is what we're getting tonight from the Medical Examiner's Office in Connecticut. Your thoughts about what we just learned.
Keep us on split screen, Ben. I got one word I want you to pronounce for me. Cocktail.
Cocktail. That's it?
Yeah, that's what this sounds like to me. Yeah, I mean, just promethazine is actually an anti-nausea drug that causes drowsiness. Hydroxyzine is actually, it can be used as an anti-anxiety drug, but it's got antihistamine qualities to it. So again, drowsiness. And then we all know about the scourge of fentanyl, right? But fentanyl is essentially a synthetic opiate. And so you take those three agents, look at that on the screen. Those three agents right there, and you combine them with alcohol, that is a recipe for disaster. That is a lethal cocktail. And I cannot imagine in any universe where this young woman would say, yeah, okay, let me have a dosage of fentanyl, let me have a dosage of promethazine, and have a dosage of hydroxyzine. Oh, and let me wash it down with some alcohol. That, it almost seems absurd to me. So that means that these would have had to have been ingested in some kind of combination. I think that's rather obvious, but I think that that's key here. Now, keep in mind, when the ME rules this as an accident, they're not ruling this from the same perspective that, say, a law enforcement agency would. If the ME would rule this as a homicide, they would have to be presented with what you lawyers call intent in order to push it over that line for them. To this point, I don't know if that has been established yet. But, you know, of course, we all know that there are cases where medical examiners and coroners have gone back in time and they've changed the manner of death. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see how all of this unfolds. I'm amazed at this combination, and it's popped up right now. And, you know, you combine that with alcohol. I mean, how many warnings do we have out there in the general public where people tell you to stay away from these drugs? And whatever you do, don't mix it with alcohol. I mean, we've heard that for years and years. And so to me, this smacks of a cocktail. Now, how she administered it to herself or how it was administered to her, I don't have an answer to that.
Is there any way to figure that out? Is there any way to figure that out from toxicology, the amount of each, and again, how it's all ingested, at what point it's ingested, whether how long it's been in your system?
Well, yeah, I mean, drugs have a half-life, but this is important. So folks at home really grasp this. When we draw toxicology, that's urine and blood and all those other fluids that we draw at autopsy. We go for what's called a qualitative amount, which means we say that those substances are in the system. Now, it takes a bit longer to get a quantitative amount. And people I don't think people at home realize this, but when we're looking at these drugs on a toxicology sample, when you look at something like fentanyl, there is actually a therapeutic range for fentanyl. Okay, therapeutic range. Traditionally, fentanyl has been used as an anesthetic. Okay, or for an early form of anesthesia or a painkiller, that sort of thing. So there are, in fact, uh, therapeutic limits. Now it's when you get beyond those limits that it becomes dangerous. Oh, and also when you mix them and combine them, it causes what's referred to as an antagonistic reaction. And so you combine that with alcohol. Again, that's why I'm saying this is a lethal combination. So now, armed with this information, the police in Bridgeport need to go back out and start asking some questions. What are the origins of these medications? Why does she have these in her system? Did she have access to them? Did this fellow that they keep mentioning, this mystery fellow, did he have access to them? What were they doing that evening? Did they go to a bar? This could have been slipped to her. I don't know. I think the family deserves those answers.
Absolutely. So some of the information, preliminary information that we've gotten is that they were out and they were drinking before they went back to her apartment. There was also an indication that she was throwing up.
See, I just want to point out really quick. See how he also says, I didn't hear it on here, but I've heard it somewhere else, that they were drinking at a bar. So I'm just wondering if anyone in chat that's following the case, have you guys heard that before? Do you guys know if there's any truth to that? They were drinking at a bar first. We shall see. And Amber says a good comment. She says, really quick before I push play, every smart TV has a camera. They can't extract stuff from the smart TV. I was actually looking at one thing. We learned this from the Chris Watts case with Shanann Watts. She wore an Apple Watch, if you guys remember. And I went back and I was looking at Lauren's photos and her videos to see, did she own an Apple Watch? I don't recall seeing one, but again, when I do my research, it's always late at night. So I'm going to double check, or if anybody wants to look at her video. She has a lot of videos and a lot of photos on her Facebook. It's just her name. And then her Instagram. I'm going to link all of that on the description for this video. But just wondering, because that also can give some insight to what happened that night.
When they got back. So she wasn't feeling well, but then they continued to drink. And that part to me doesn't make a ton of sense. So tell me about fentanyl. Is fentanyl something that could be put into a drink, could be slipped into a drink, could dissolve in a drink, and someone could ingest it and not even know it?
Yeah, I'm sure that it probably could. It all depends on, kind of the form that it's going to take. If it's rendered down to the point and the person is sharp enough to know how to apply it, yeah, most certainly. I think that could be facilitated. Any of these drugs could, and particularly if you create a combination by secreting them into a drink like alcohol, and depending upon the alcohol, the level of kind of the fruitiness of the drink, for instance, the sweetness of it, it may mask the taste of any kind of underlying substance. So you're not really going to know what you're taking on board.
Sorry, a little red flag just went off. So he's saying that they usually put it in a fruity drink to mask the taste of it. Do you guys remember how it said that in the incident report that they're saying that Matthew said that they took shots with, was it mixer, he said? I think he said mixer. He said oh gosh, now I'm going to have to find it. Does anyone remember the exact term he used? I think he said mixer. I think he said that they took shots with mixers. And it always stuck out to me because I thought, when I'm explaining something to my friends and I'm like, oh yeah, we were taking shots, we were having a good time. I don't think I've ever said, yeah, we were taking shots with mixers. Like, who says? I don't know. But now I'm just wondering how he says that they put it in a fruity drink. What if, speculating again, he did put something in her drink? That's why in his mind he went to this mixer. It just seems strange that he said that we took shots with a mixer. I'm saying, does anyone remember that? No, he didn't say with cocktail. He didn't say that. He said they took tequila shots, but he also said with mixers. I mean, I have it in the last live, not the last live, but the first live I did, because we read the email. Let me play this, and I'm gonna look at the last live really quick. I'm gonna mute it though. Hey AV, how are you? Good point. But if they were at a bar, it probably has cameras. Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna look for that right now behind the scenes. Hi Joey, how are you? All right, let me hit play. I don't know. It just stuck out to me, him bringing that up right now, that they usually put it in something, a fruity drink. And I remember he says they were taking shots of tequila with mixers. I'm gonna have to listen to it. Okay.
At that moment in time, I find it very interesting that she was throwing up, and as that has been mentioned, I think my question would be, we know about the levels of, or we know that these drugs are present. I think that the other important piece of information here, Vinny, is to know what her blood alcohol level was. What's her BA, as they call it? Is it in a lethal range? Because alcohol just standalone, if you're not used to drinking it, you can die of acute alcohol toxicity as well. So what's her tolerance level for alcohol? How long had she been drinking? How much had she been drinking? And at what point in time, timeline is very important here. At what point in time had she begun to regurgitate? And was this actually witnessed? Did somebody see it? Were there any complaints leading up to it? Oh, I'm dizzy. Oh, I'm nauseated. Did she have stabbing pains in her abdomen? That's why it's so important at the beginning of an investigation like this, that you go back and you glean that information at that moment in time before everything kind of washes away, through the progression of time. And, we're talking about a 23-year-old young lady here. This is not somebody, that would have had time at this point in her life to have developed, these dependencies that are multi-layered drugs and alcoholism and all these things that we see maybe later on in life. To the best of my knowledge, I haven't heard anyone yet say that she's a drug abuser. So it would really, I think that there are some hard scientific questions that need to be asked in addition to the investigative questions.
How about the bloody nose? Knowing what we know now, and knowing that according to the man she was with, that she met on this Bumble date, on this Bumble app, and had a date with, how does the bloody nose relate to any of this, or does it not relate to any of this?
No, I think that there's probably some kind of correlation. I don't know. I think first, me, Vin, I'm I'm a cynic. I have to, my first point here is to try to determine if in fact there's been any kind of trauma. Anytime I see blood, I'm going to think trauma. That's just a little death investigator in me. Beyond that, I have to begin to think about some kind of vascular problem that she may be presenting with. And if it's demonstrating through blood issuing from her nose, I think the question is there any evidence that she had indwelling hemorrhage in any other location in her body? Now, I'm not saying this is what happened. All right, please don't misunderstand me. But in some cases, people can actually ingest drugs nasally, and or through their nasal passages, and this will cause a bad reaction. And back years and years ago, when cocaine was all in vogue, and I was a young death investigator, I would see this happen with cocaine. But generally, that's over a protracted period of time where you have this kind of erosion of the mucosa in there. So I don't know. I mean, look, at this point, everything is on the table. Nothing is off the table at this point because, again, she's 23 years old. She appears to be healthy. You have to be able, these questions have to be asked and they have to be answered sufficiently. I think that everybody, not just the family, the public wants to know. Because, what if this is something indicative of maybe other deaths that have similar patterns to them? I think that everybody in that area of the country would want to know if this is something that's ongoing. Have there been other young people that have suddenly died as a result of this? This is when it goes from just the consideration of a criminal investigation to maybe it's a public health issue. where people are being exposed to drugs and some kind of agent that's creating this kind of manifestations. And it's causing a 23-year-old girl to die suddenly out of the blue.
Absolutely. So again, the important takeaway here so far that I'm hearing from you, Joseph Scott Morgan, is that even though the manner of death has been labeled an accident by the ME, that doesn't end this investigation. It actually is really just beginning at this moment. Joseph Scott Morgan, working hard hours, long night for you tonight, coming back on. We appreciate it. We'll see you again. When we come back, folks, we got more on this breaking news involving the death investigation into Lauren Smith Fields out of Connecticut. The family attorney will join us now in light of this new information that we've gotten from the medical examiner. Don't go in.
Okay, so now we're going to listen to, you're going to see right here. I just wanted to put this out there. Let me take that off the thing. Now we're going to listen to the lawyer again. The family has a lawyer, and they also have paid out of pocket for a second autopsy. Now, the reason I titled this live creepy guy is you're going to hear what the lawyer says right now. And I think he says it in a little bit towards the end, but it has me questioning a lot. So let me hit play. She is beautiful.
What we've been seeing largely in the country is that if someone dies under these circumstances, and unfortunately, if they're a person of Caucasian descent, they get a priority. In these poorer or minority communities, beautiful young women like Lauren are just discarded. We've seen across the country, Black girls go missing at alarming numbers, and they get no response. But then you have a Gabby Petito who goes missing, and the whole world responds. And United States has helicopters in the air. They have a search mission all over the place. And in this particular case, it's not the same. And we feel like the police have been racially insensitive, and they just don't care.
That's Darnell Crossland. He's attorney for the family of Lauren Smith Field, and she died just 23 years old. There was someone with her when she died, but that person has not been interviewed by investigators. And there were a lot of questions, and the family was feeling a lot of frustration and not getting answers because all this happened back in December. And it wasn't until just moments ago that we've gotten some information about how Lauren Smith Field died. This coming from the medical examiner who released information just moments ago, breaking news here tonight, that the immediate cause of death in the case of Lauren Smith Fields was acute intoxication due to the combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, and alcohol. The manner of death has been labeled an accident. That's according to the medical examiner. I want to bring in special guest joining us tonight from Stamford, Connecticut, Lauren Smith Fields' family's attorney, Darnell Crossland, joining us. Darnell, it's late. You're working hard. And thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. We're just getting this information tonight from the medical examiner. I want to get your reaction. Does this answer any questions that you and the family of Lauren have about what happened?
We have more questions now than answers. And unfortunate as that is, that's the reality. We cannot understand how, from the beginning of this investigation, we made it quite clear to the Bridgeport Police Department that we're dissatisfied with the way this investigation was handled. Now that we see from the medical examiner's office that there was several different dangerous drugs, including the dangerous drug fentanyl, and we don't even have this gentleman to be questioned. He should have been questioned thoroughly. Did you bring drugs? Were there any drugs involved? What were you guys doing? He made a self-serving statement that night that didn't include half of the situation as we see it unfolding now. And we're just totally upset with that.
And how is the family doing tonight in light of this new information?
They're just shocked. They're just really shocked and upset because they had to grieve and investigate. They had to grieve and march. They had to grieve and fight for justice. And now, only after marching on the mayor's office yesterday, does the mayor release a statement today saying that he's urged the medical examiner to try to release this report quickly. Now, I'm not sure he has that power, but out of nowhere, we get this report. And let me just say this to your listeners. I've been doing this 17 years. I had a case where a guy from Albania had some heroin, and a very rich doctor named Dr. Rubin, a plastic surgeon in Greenwich, Connecticut, flew in on his private jet. He called my client from the air and said, "Hey, I have some cocaine. Can you get some of the stuff?" They met up, they partied together, and Dr. Rubin died. They ruled that death a death by toxicity. That was it, toxicity. And what they said it was the mixture between the heroin and the cocaine. In this particular case, obviously, if there's several different drugs at play here, we know there could be toxicity. The question is, in my other case I just mentioned, they charged my client with manslaughter. In this particular case, there's definitely toxicity, but where did the drugs come from? And why did they question this white man who met this young Black girl on Bumble? This young girl didn't use drugs at all. She went to the gym every single day. She worked out. She don't have any plastic surgery like a lot of these models have, like surgery. She has none of that. It's all natural. And the family is so close, they knew that she wasn't using drugs or any other type of pills. But yet still, this white man is just floating in the air and there's no examination. Go to his house, check his credit card, see that he buy the tequila, see that he spiked the tequila. He said that he slept with his clothes on and he never had sex. Yet we forced them to collect a condom with semen in it from the bathroom. And here we are a month later, the condom is collected finally 2 weeks after the death. And now we're 4 weeks and nothing has been submitted to the laboratory in Meriden, the forensic laboratory, for testing. So we are really at a loss here, and we're not going to stop until we get justice.
Well, it seems that with your help and making noise, there has been some reaction. The fear is that it's too little too late, right? The man that she was with.
So I just can't believe that it took 2 weeks for law enforcement to even get what he's talking about is the sheet and the used condom, I'm assuming, and they still haven't been sent because he's been calling and it still hasn't been sent over for testing. What are they waiting for?
As a lawyer at this point, with this information out there, my guess is he may not speak anymore. Was there anyone else there that night? I've heard reports, I don't know if it's true, that Lauren's brother stopped by that night. Is there anything to that? Did he notice anything? Did he have any conversation with her?
And that's a good thing to point out. It was Christmas time, so Lauren and her brother went shopping early in the day. And so at some point during that evening, her brother, Lakeem, stopped by, and Lauren brought the clothes out to him that they had picked up. He got the clothes. They're so tight. That's his baby sister. They're so tight that she was laughing, joking. He would have known if something was wrong with her. She never mentioned that anyone was in the house, and it's a private family house. She rents the downstairs basement. And they had a couple of conversations for a little while, and then she went back in the house. Not drunk, not sick, not dizzy, nothing.
And this is what doesn't make sense either. Like what he's stating right here is that Lauren's brother went to, and I would love to know the time, like actual time for all of this, but he went to go see his sister to pick up his, like he's saying, his clothes. And his brother even says this himself in many of the interviews he's done, is that his sister looked fine. She didn't look sick. She didn't look drunk. He was talking to her and there was nothing wrong. He even made a statement like, if I would have noticed anything, I would have said, like, why do you look like that? I think was his response. But he says she didn't even look tired. So it's just all these drugs found in Lauren's system. It's just odd to me that she sees her brother and she's fine, but Matthew is claiming that she was vomiting. And then later on, after talking to her brother, she goes in the restroom and she's in there for 10 to 15 minutes, sick again. It doesn't seem to match up his story at all. So I'm wondering, did she get, I don't know, maybe with something, I don't know. What do you guys think?
This gentleman says that she comes back in the house, goes in the bathroom. He says that she's terribly sick, but after she's terribly sick, they start drinking more. That doesn't make any sense. If you're terribly sick, you wouldn't start drinking more. You wouldn't offer her more drinks. And I just want to say to you this. In Connecticut, your listeners might not know this, but in Connecticut.
Sorry, I keep stopping it. And exactly. You're 37 years old. You're older, okay? And it's not really about the age, but he is older than her. I just feel like, dude, you should know better, bro. Like, what is going on here? She is sick, and you just be like, hey, yeah, let's continue taking shots. Let's just continue chilling out. Let's continue partying. I'm not going to ask you if you're okay. I don't know. I agree with him. Makes no sense.
If you give someone else drugs, that's a sale under our statute. That's a 15-year felony. If those drugs that you give someone cause them to die, that's manslaughter. And so in this particular case, the police need to be doing what they always do when fentanyl is involved. They try to track the source because it's so dangerous. They need to interview this gentleman to see if he had any fentanyl. Have he ever used fentanyl? Does he have any connection to fentanyl? And then they need to track that. I'll say this last thing. A couple weeks ago in Connecticut, there was a couple kids who died at a local school from using fentanyl, and it's so toxic that the police treat it as a hazmat scene. They locked the teachers in their classrooms, and they had hazmat suits because fentanyl, if it gets in the air, it can kill you. Add another case.
I actually shared that on my community, and if you guys want, I'll play it after, about what he's talking about, fentanyl being found at a school, and actually, I believe one child passed away because of it.
A couple of months ago, a little baby died of fentanyl. What happened was there was fentanyl in the house, and on the surface, he touched the coffee table, the little baby, about 3 years old. He put his fingers in his mouth, and he died. So fentanyl could transfer in the air. It could transfer from surfaces. And this man could have put fentanyl in her drinks or anything that they were eating. And then he said they didn't have sex, but there's a condom with semen in it. So he could have drugged this girl. He could have had sex with this girl while she was dead, before she died. We don't know what happened because the police said he's a nice man and there's nothing to see here, folks.
Yeah, that's it's murkier and murkier. I mean, everything that you point out, the inconsistencies, the illogical stories are red flags, obvious red flags for investigators that haven't been followed yet and need to be followed. Do you know anything else about the man she was with? Any history with?
Okay, so now listen to what the lawyer says, and you're going to know why I titled this live Creepy Guy. Okay, let me check these up. Oh, go away.
Other women. Obviously, it's the job of investigators to figure all that out. But I know you're on top of this. Have you uncovered anything?
Well, let's start from the top. So we all seen TV, and we know that the first 48 hours is important. We know that crime scenes need to be quarantined. They didn't do that. What we do know is that the gentleman stated that he met my client on Bumble, right? A dating app. As of this week, the CEO of Bumble has reached out to us and also made a public statement that their members are thoroughly vetted for safety reasons. Also, the CEO has made it clear, made a public statement that they stand ready and willing to assist law enforcement across the country. They also said that at this late hour, Bridgeport police have not called them to ask for any help. Didn't ask for a list of the conversations, nothing. Didn't ask to see whether in fact this guy has a profile of red flags, because I think if you're on this platform, if you have a concern about someone, you can report them or you can give them ratings. You think the police would want to call Bumble and see what kind of ratings this guy has, what kind of red flags out there? Nothing. And when this case went viral as it is, people started texting us now, and other women have stated that they've dated this gentleman and that he's a creep, and that they started explaining their experiences with him, none of which are good. So we have our own investigators going out now to take statements from these women, and we're compiling them, and then we're going to make our next move. One of the things we do want to get is the 911 tapes, which the city has.
So did you hear that? Let's hear it again. And they have their own private investigators. I am so happy, investigator. I am so happy they did. Let's hear that again, you guys. And I'm wondering if these women are going to come forward anytime soon. I'm wondering. So women have contacted the family, this lawyer, talking about their relationship, their interaction with this person, Matthew. Again, not a suspect, not a person of interest. And he's creepy. And I can't wait to learn why they're saying that. What makes a guy creepy? I mean, I don't think I ever use, I don't know about you guys, I never use that word to describe any, like, so it makes me, I'm really wondering, what did he actually do to make you feel like he's creepy? Or, you know what I'm saying? Let me push play.
Well, see what kind of ratings this guy has, what kind of red flags out there? Nothing. And when this case went viral as it is, people started texting us now, and other women have stated that they've dated this gentleman and that he's a creep, and that they started explaining their experiences with him, none of which are good. So we have our own investigators going out now to take statements from these women, and we're compiling them, and then we're going to make our next move. One of the things we do want to get is the 911 tapes, which the city has not released to us, because regardless of what they put in that self-serving statement, the 911 calls will show the inflection in his voice, and it may tell a different story than what the police typed up.
Absolutely. You're in Connecticut. Do they release that information, or is that going to be a battle for you to try to get?
Typically, they could release body cam, 911 the same day. If they are being difficult, they can say, quote unquote, it's an ongoing investigation, so you have to wait. So the mayor has now finally, after we marched in his office yesterday, come out with a statement supporting us and stating that protocols weren't followed and that he stands willing to assist the family. So we're going to go to him first and ask him, can he press on his police department to give us the 911 tapes immediately? No need to hold them any longer. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. The cure for when trust has been broken is more and more transparency. And that's what's absolutely needed at this point. Darnell Crossland, I know you joined us last minute. We appreciate it.
So women have come forward, and I can't wait to learn what these women say. And I highlighted AV's comment. He says, what? Other women dated him and said he's creepy. OMG people. Yeah, that's very telling that they actually reached out to the family and the lawyer and saying, yep, we date him and he's creepy. So I am very interested to learn what made him so creepy. And again, why hasn't law enforcement reached out to Bumble? I don't understand that. Does anyone know? Can you message people on there, like Facebook? Because I learned that from you guys. So you could do, it's not just dating. You could do networking, and you can make friends on there. So you can message people, right? Oh, Joey, thanks. I appreciate it for the compliment. Let me see what you guys say. Amber says, damn, I'm sorry, I'm behind a few minutes. Yeah, Amber, I want to hear that 911 call too. That's what I was going to do the other day, and I completely forgot. Just to get the dispatch call, go on Broadcastify. I pay for that. It's where you can hear not the 911 call, but you can hear the dispatch call. And you can, if you pay, I don't know how much I pay, to be honest, but you pay a monthly fee, I think, and you're able to go back like in archives. And this is one that I was like, oh crap, I would love to hear what the dispatch at least says. So I definitely want to go back and look at that. Insanely says, I never heard of it until now. I've heard, matches not approved. I've never, Pink says, I've never used it, but I think it's a friend thing. And yes, you can chat. See, so I would love to. Why didn't they ever go and request that chat from Bumble? I don't know. I'm going to scroll up, you guys, and see your guys' comments. Let me see. Let me stop sharing this too. All right, let me close some things out. Let me take that off the comments. Hold on, guys. Let's put Lauren's photo up because her face and her name needs to be. And I want to do, not today because I'm going to wrap it up in a little bit, but would you guys like to do an open panel for this case? I would love to know what you guys think about, if you guys know what you know about fentanyl, any of these drugs, if you have any insight to share with any of it. When I learn of a case, for me, I want to know everything and anything about it regarding whatever it has to talk about. So right now I'm trying to learn about all these different drugs. But would you guys want to do that and just, I don't know, come up on panel, talk about your thoughts? I definitely want to do it. Probably next week I'll set something up with it. I know people get nervous when people do open panel, but then when you're not doing open panel, people want to come up. Pink says, I will be willing. Yes. Okay, good. Let's, next week, let's set something up for this case. An open panel. I would love to hear what you guys think about it and your opinion with everything on it. Let me see. Let me go up to the comments. No AV police. So, Bumble reached out to Lauren's family, and the lawyer spoke with, I'm not sure who he spoke with, but he was told that law enforcement hasn't reached out to them yet. And that's why he's like shocked on that. Like, why haven't they reached out? I guess also he was saying on Bumble, you can give the person ratings, I guess. What's his ratings on there? Again, I'm not sure how Bumble actually works. I'm not going to pretend I do. Okay, Delana. Yes, we need to get Delana up on here because Delana is very smart and her dad is law enforcement. So I always go to her when I have questions regarding these cases. Insanely says, I don't mind sharing what I want. I just don't want to be. No, you guys don't have to be on camera. Don't worry about that. You can turn your camera off. You don't have to be on camera at all. You guys know sometimes I don't have my camera on either. Yeah, I definitely want to do an open panel for this case. I'm going to continue bringing awareness for Lauren's case. Just keep in mind, too, the family did request a second autopsy, so we're going to wait on those results. And they did file, let me read it really quick. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, guys. They did file. And as for Matthew, I don't know if he's currently married right now. I'm not sure on that. I seen someone say something about that. Okay, so this says to the Bridgeport City Clerk and Police Department, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Dear Sir or Madam, I gotta make this big. Let's see, is there a date on here? I think on the other page. So let me see if I have this shared on my screen so I can show you guys. Hold on, give me a second. Did I save it here? Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to see. No, I didn't. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get it from my email. And let me see. Because I know you guys like looking at visuals. Give me a second. Again, thank you guys for being here with me on this Wednesday evening and talking this case. We definitely have more questions than answers with it. Okay, let me see. I think I sent it here. Okay, I did. All right. And it's just while I'm doing this, you guys know, I do finally, and I'm not rescheduling it, the Summer Wows live, and it's going to be Friday. It is a morning live, though, and I'm not rescheduling it, so. Why did it do that? Okay. All right, let me stop sharing that. Let me pull it up. So this was sent to the city of Bridgeport. It's going to be morning, Valerie. I know Valerie hates morning lives. She was like, no, because you're an hour behind me, right, Valerie? What time is it for everybody right now? Right now for me, it's 6:49 p.m. I'm interested to know what time is it for you. Valerie, so that means it's 5:49 for you, right? And I'm just pulling this up for you guys. All right, let's see. Oh, gosh, it's not cropped. Why did I do it like, oh, maybe I do it like that. All right, I'm just going to leave it like this. It might be a little blurry on your end. It might be a little blurry. Hold on, guys, give me a minute. All right, I could hear my alarm going off in the room. Oh, now you want to work. All right, let me take that off the screen. 8:49 p.m. Damn, Megs. Oh, you're ahead by a lot. Matthew, 1:50 a.m. You're like me. I stay up late. 5:50, Joey says. 5:50. 1:50 a.m. too. Matthew and Katrina, you guys must be in the same time zone. Pink joined the group. We did, and I would tag you. LOL. Okay. Link the group here. Again, Insanely Confused and Delana made a group for Lauren because at the time that we started covering this case, again, it was over a month. I mean, not over a month, but it had been a month already, and there wasn't any groups. And you guys, groups are important. They could be pretty crazy, but all I ask is that you guys don't disrespect the family. That's it. But you can speculate. Theories are okay in there. All of that is fine. You just don't bash the family. That's one thing I just don't tolerate in any of the groups. But you guys can put your opinions, all of that. I mean, other than the day, we don't know what happened. All right, so this, I'm going to read it from my phone, you guys. So I'm going to look down. Let me take that off the screen. 7:50 p.m. So you're an hour ahead of me. I need to write down my own mods time zones. Okay, let's take that off. And I'm going to read this just from my phone really quick. And it's so blurry on this end. Okay. So it says, Dear Sir or Madam, in accordance with Connecticut General Statute, notice of intention to commence an action based upon the following claim is hereby filed. Person injured, Lauren Smith Fields. It gives her date of birth and address. And then it says the date was December 11th through the 12th, 2021. And it gives the time 3:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. So I'm wondering if this is where, well, let me continue. It gives her address. Now, description of occurrence, 8:20. Now, just bear with me the way I'm reading right now because it's off my phone and yeah. Okay. Can't see really, even with my glasses on. A 23-year-old Black female resident of Bridgeport was found dead in her apartment on or about the 12th day of December 2021. According to the incident report, present at the scene was a white man named Matthew Lafountain. This man is old enough to be Lauren's father. The physical evidence on the scene was a pill used as a sedative. Interesting. A condom in the bathroom with semen in it. And again, it's coming out graphic, so I hope it's okay to say these things on YouTube. I don't know, whatever. And a round blood stain in the middle of Lauren's bed. There was also a plate of food turned over on the living room floor. Interesting. I never knew that. So there was a plate of food turned over on the living room floor? Why? Based on the way, sorry, this is like I'm first reading it right now, so my reaction. Based on the way the scene was processed, there is a reason to believe that Detective Cronin and had some connection to Mr. Lafountain and may have unofficially arrived at the apartment to assist Mr. Lafountain in a cover-up around 3:30 a.m. prior to Lafountain officially dialing 911. Again, this is coming from the family's lawyer, the one we just listened to, Mr. Crossland. Okay, so that's who wrote this up. So they're stating their beliefs are that the detective possibly has a connection to Matthew, and he might have went there to help cover it up. 2 weeks after the death of Lauren Smith Fields, the Bridgeport Police Department failed to implement the proper CSI. Sorry, it's so small on my end. I'm going to take my glasses off because this is not working. I can't see what I'm reading. Hold on, guys. Crime scene investigation, that's better. Team to collect physical evidence. After my client's family forced the Bridgeport PD to collect the pill found in the apartment, the condom, and the bloody bedsheet, as of today, those items have not been submitted to the state laboratory for forensics analysis. Now, this was dated again. Do they have a date on here? I think on the next page. My office spoke with the state laboratory on the 5th, so January 5th, the day of January, and the lab confirmed via the case number that no submissions made to them by Bridgeport PD. Again, this is what the lawyer said earlier, that when he spoke with them, they have not submitted any of that stuff, which everyone's wondering, what are you waiting for? When is that going to happen? Why haven't you sent that over? Let's see, where was I? Now, it is our belief that the chain of custody issue has been intentionally, so they're created by the Bridgeport Police Department. I don't have the other page shared right there, but I'm just going to read it from my phone really quick. Now, the detective Kevin Cronin, who was removed from the case and is now under investigation by the Bridgeport Internal Affairs Division, in our opinion, has failed this family. Let's see, and intentionally created a cover-up for the responsible party of Lauren's death. The police department has been racially insensitive to the family and has treated this family with no respect and has violated their civil rights. They have failed to investigate this matter, and they refuse to view the last person with Lauren Smith Fields before she died as a person of interest. This behavior is unacceptable. Let's see. The city of Bridgeport has been made aware of the actions of the Bridgeport Police Department in this case and has failed to intervene. As such, in the effort to obtain due process for following, are being given notice and made party to this intent to sue. Now, he just names a couple of he names the mayor. Let's see, Assistant Police Chief Rebecca Garcia. He has the detective Kevin Cronin. Let's see, all of the above, so all the names he put on here, all of the above are put on notice that they have violated the rights of Lauren Smith Fields and her family under the 1983 Civil Rights Act. In addition, they have failed to provide her and her family with due process accorded to them under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. And this is dated, the lawyer sent this over on January 21st. Wow. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that's what the family believed. I had no idea. Sorry. And sorry if I was reading, like, it's so small on my end on my phone, and my phone needs to be cleaned. I didn't know that's what they felt. Interesting. All right, I'm going to just go up and see what you guys are saying really quick. Matthew says, police involved. I said it in comments. Well, that's one thing a lot of people have been wondering, if Matthew knows anybody in law enforcement. That's another question that's been raised. I know people have also questioned his relationship with the detective that was first on the scene, which was Detective Cronin. Hey, Sky, good to see you, even though it's already almost over. Let me go up. I'm going to scroll up. All right, let me stop sharing that with you guys. Sky, how are you feeling, love? All right, let me close all that out and see what you guys are saying. Let me move. Look at my hair. And I look kind of grayish, I feel, because my light isn't on. All right, let me see. Let me scroll on down, guys. They may be involved. She could have had an allergic reaction and died from that. Joey says she could have had an allergic reaction and died from that. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. I get frustrated when things start lagging. That's why I try to pre-record the video for you guys, because this case is important to me. I want to make sure that we're getting everything and anything out that we can, and spreading awareness for Lauren is really important. Okay, it was good to see you, Nicole. Have a great night. Can you guys hear my dog barking? Kelly says 11:55 a.m. Oh, you're just getting your day started in Australia. Australia. You know who was in here? Dee. My lovely Dee. Matthew says no other reason why they have not charged him, either police corruption or the man is actually innocent. But the thing with that, though, that bugs me, Matthew, is we don't know what happened, right? We really don't. And my hair's getting on my nerves again. We don't know what really happened. Okay. We don't know what time Lauren, what if she took the hydroxyzine, whatever it's called, in the morning. We don't know what time that was placed in her system. We don't know any of that. Whatever. We don't know any of that information. And I mean, I don't think she took it all. That's just my opinion, but we really just don't know. The only thing what really bothers me with this case, you guys, is that, think about it. A young woman is found unresponsive, pronounced deceased, and there's a man there. He says he just met her. That's the first time he's at her apartment, and you don't bring him in for questioning. That blows my mind. Something's not sitting right with that alone for me. I mean, I keep thinking about, him not asking if she was not feeling okay, him sticking around, him moving her. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just a shitty guy and he made some bad choices. And I don't know. I don't think so. To me, his story don't make sense. And what really bothers me is that they never brought him in for formal questioning. And now he has a lawyer. Yeah. Sky says, listen, don't judge me, crazy. I never do, my love. And then now hearing the lawyer says that other women are now coming forward and talking to him, saying that, yes, we went on dates with this man and he's creepy. What makes him a creep? Like, what did he do? I can't wait to hear what these women have to say about Matthew. And again, he's not a person of interest. He's not a suspect. Isn't she Delana? Who? D? Sky? What did I do? No, she's not. D is D. I'm not going to put her full name, but you guys know who D is? D's my girl. Creepy is enough to speak out. Yeah, Megs, that's what I was saying. Who, ladies, when do you call a guy creepy? Like, I don't know. I'm glad you said this. It's going to be like Brian. He says, Matthew says, not all white men called Matthew are bad. I've been one for a while now, he says. Just like with Brian. Any white man that was bald. Remember that? Oh, Lord. Oh, insanely confused. Connecticut, do they release all that stuff? The body cam and all that? I would love to see all that stuff. Hey, Vicky. She says, good evening, everyone. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. And I want to thank you guys all for being here with me and talking Lauren's case again. Make sure you guys are sharing this on your social media. Hit the like button, dislike button. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It really doesn't. It just helps with pushing this out with YouTube and the algorithm and stuff like that. So definitely just trying to spread awareness with Lauren's case. And, you know, I just want to say really quick too, I should put a photo up. Hold on. Oh, is this a video I made? Yeah, let's do this one. Give me a second. So just think, you guys, whenever I'm going to try Chrome. I've never done it this way. Give me a second. Yes, Vicky, but you can go back and watch the replay. The replay gang here for the channel is strong. So just imagine Lauren is your sister. Imagine she's your daughter, your best friend, your cousin. How Lauren's family, you guys, how they were treated from Bridgeport PD is unacceptable. No family should be treated that way. And a proper investigation should have happened from the very beginning. And honestly, with this case, didn't happen. And if you guys know me, I'm not usually against law enforcement. Like usually I'm like, I don't know. I'm definitely pro blue, and usually I'm not that big on conspiracy either. But with this one, I'm sorry, they dropped the ball big time. They dropped the ball. So we definitely need more people covering this. So I'm gonna ask you guys for a little favor. You guys all watch true crime. So can you please, on one of your favorite true crime channels, can you just put in the comment section Lauren's name? Ask your favorite YouTuber if they can do a story on her, whether it be just sharing, you know, what happened to Lauren on their community, make a video, or actually going live. If they, you know, sharing something on your community, that literally takes like 2 minutes. Like seriously, it does. You know what I mean? If you can ask them to please share Lauren's case, that will mean a lot. And this case is getting, now it's finally getting some coverage, but a month, what are we? Over a month. I mean, think about other cases we covered, not even close to the coverage it should have. So please just ask your favorite YouTuber if they can please do just spread awareness when it comes to Lauren. And no matter what the outcome is with, you know, if she did take this herself or she was slipped, a proper investigation should be done no matter what. So definitely, I'm a big believer that, you know, with getting everyone involved and more eyes and more people talking about Lauren, it's going to blow smoke up the mayor's ass. It's going to blow smoke up all of them, you know, Bridgeport PD, all of them. So interested to see the findings from what the investigation puts out for what Bridgeport is doing now for Lauren, the narcotics division. So interesting to see on that. Interested to see, will Matthew make a statement? I'm sure if his lawyer, through his lawyer, I'm sure if he even does, but will his lawyer make a statement on Matthew's behalf? I don't know. We just got to wait and see. But I'm definitely going to continue covering this case. And if anything pops up before next week, because Friday I have a live scheduled for Summer Wells, and then the weekend I usually don't go live, you guys. I usually just try to get up on all my social media for the most part and just spend time with family. But next week we'll have an open panel with this case, and we'll see if anything new updates come forward. All right, does that sound okay with you guys? Yeah, Matthew, I agree. He says yes, because we must remember that the important thing is the lovely woman died. Yes. And she's someone's daughter, someone's sister. So remember that, you guys. All right, you guys have a good night. And I will talk to you guys soon. As always, bye, guys.